Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, and today I'm bringing you another NU battle, this time against the opponent by the name of Shinypikachu1. Now I'm using the same team that I have been using in the previous videos, and as promised this will be my last full video with all of these guys in it. I might use them in the future in later teams, but for now this is probably the last time you're going to see them together. However, following this, later in the week maybe, or I don't know, whenever I get around to it, I will be doing an analysis video of all these Pokemon and why I think they work really well together as a team. So you can expect that, and it will keep the educational aspect of this channel going, which I kind of, started it based off of. But today my opponent has a very interesting team full of a bunch of Pokemon that I haven't seen in NU in a while, namely Roselia, Rotom Fan, and Kangaskhan. So I'm not really entirely sure of what they might do. I'm assuming the Rotom Fan is going to be like the parafusion flinch thing that everybody runs with it. So that's kind of what I'm, assuming I'm going to have to worry about. Luckily, I do have a ground type resist, so I won't have to worry about the paralysis. Still confusion can happen, but Seismitoad can hopefully take care of it. Also, I have no idea what the hell the Spirit is going to do. I never do. They're freaking confusing, and they really bother me. No, they're really good. I would use one, but I really don't feel like it. But they're good, so I honestly don't know what the heck that's going to do. Roselia probably will be a pain in the butt to take down because it's Eviolite and it can set up a bunch of entry hazards, which I definitely do not want it doing. I'm not worried about Quagsire because I can take care of that easily. Kangaskhan, I kind of know what kind of set they like to run because I do enjoy using Kangaskhan myself, so I might be able to predict around that fairly well, but I don't think I'll have too big of a problem with it. And then lastly, the King Clank, whatever the hell it's called, is just gonna want to gear shift and attack. But I choose to lead off with Miltank, and I'm not sure my reasoning behind this. I just felt like it was relatively safe. But I see he leads off with the Spirit, so I switch out to Magmortar, either predicting Trick or Stealth Rock, because if it does get Trick, I don't really mind it on Magmortar, but it actually goes for Psychic, which stinks. So I took a big hit, and then I go for a Flamethrower thinking I'd be faster, but I'm not, and he Thunder Waves me, so that sucks. So now I just have a really slow Magmortar, and I need to do something about that, hopefully get up a Heal Bell. But here I switch out to Musharna as he sets up his rocks, thinking I can just take hits and Shadow Ball it all day if it wants to stay in, but he switches out into the Rotom Fan. Now, I did not expect this trick at all. I have never seen this thing use Trick, ever, so I was completely thrown off guard here, and obviously, since I go for Calm Mind, I'm pretty much screwed since I can't switch moves. So that sucks, and it forces me out. I probably should have went out to Seismitoad here, predicting a Volt Switch, but I wasn't even thinking. I was just so thrown off by the trick. But I go out into my Wormadam, and he goes out into Spirit, which I was very confused by because I can take care of this really well. So I just go for my rocks while he Thunder Waves me. And I just go for Gyro Ball, see how much it does. I know its Psychics can't do too much damage, but the next few exchanges are just me going for Gyro Ball, and it going for Psychic to try to take me out. Obviously, since this thing has leftovers, I can't. It would have normally been a 2-hit KO, but because of leftovers, it's now a 3-hit KO, which stinks. And another thing that stinks is I get paralyzed on this turn, so I'm at even less health when I take it out. But I do eventually do it on this turn with a final Gyro Ball. So that means for me that I'm probably going to be, just leaving this thing in to die on whatever comes in. And he sends out the Kinklang, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to die. So I go for Rest, and he goes for Substitute, which I'm like, yes. So now I have a full health Wormadam, which should have been dead, and he's behind a sub. So I go into my Machoke thinking that, I can take whatever it wants. It goes for Shift Gear, obviously, because that's what they all do. And then I just want to, Dynamic Punch it and take care of it. However, I completely underestimated the power of the Shift Gear Grind move, which I thought I could take one of even at +2 because I'm like Machoke and a Violite, but I guess not. But here I see that he is actually Life Orbed, which is really good for me because I can easily handle that with my Miltank. I go for Milk Drink this turn, and then I predict the sub because I figured he thought I was going to go for Milk Drink again, so I go for the Seismic Toss to get rid of the sub. Milk Drink again, predicting to get hit by the Gear Grind, and I go for it again because at this point I realize even if he does sub, that still works out in my favor because I have the Rocky Helmet, and he dies because Gear Grind actually makes contact, so he takes 2 hits of Rocky Helmet and then Life Orb, so he dies, which is awesome, and now I'm at 65%. So he brings in the Quagsire. I figure I can just Toxic it, no big deal. Quagsire isn't really a threat to this team at all. and he scalds me, and he gets the burn, which doesn't really matter at all because I can just go for Heal Bell, which I believe I do right now. Yes, so my team is cured, and he brings in the Roselia, so I have to get rid of this thing because I don't want it setting up entry hazards or doing whatever, so I have to go out to Magmortar right now. And here, I knew he was going to go into Quagsire, but I figured I could go for Flamethrower anyways because it would do a decent chunk even if it's resisted because of how powerful Magmortar is and how Quagsire doesn't have a lot of special defense. And then I kill it with a Hidden Power Grass because that is exactly why I have that on there instead of Thunderbolt, because there are so many more things that Grass can cover in NU than Thunderbolt, in my opinion at least. But he brings out the Rotom Fan, and then he takes my Magmortar out. So I bring in Seismitoad thinking, I can just take whatever hit. He does have Air Slash here, he shows me, and then he flinches me on the first turn, which, whatever, that's why you use Air Slash, you usually get flinches, but then he misses one, so that works out in my favor because it kind of means that nothing basically changed within those 2 turns. So I get a burn actually on the Scald that I use, and thankfully, because of that, I'm able to take out the Rotom Fan, and we get like a double down here. So I only have a couple pokes left, so I go into Musharna thinking I can just Psychic until it dies because both of the guys left on the team aren't resisting Psychic, and this Roselia actually takes super effective damage from it, as you can see. However, it does like nothing to this thing, and I mean like 43% is like almost half or whatever, but since this thing is super effective, I assume it would be doing more. I get a crit right there, which does help me out, which is good on my end, but it really, I'm basically just in here until I die. So I'm just going to keep psyching away. He keeps going for Synthesis, which I was very confused by because I can Psychic get more than it can Synthesis, because Synthesis only has like 8 PP. But here he thinks he will live the next Psychic, which he might have if I didn't get like max damage on that one. So I actually take it out there, which is great for me, and now I just leave Musharna in to die, because it's tricked to Choice Scarf, it's not going to do anything else. So I see that he's Life Orbed here, so I bring out my Wormadam to hopefully get some Life Orb recoil on it while I can take hits, and in all honesty, I should have rested on the next turn, but I don't. I go for Gyro Ball this turn just to see how much it does, and then he goes for Drain Punch, doesn't kill me, and I go for Toxic. And this was kind of stupid on my part, because as I said, I should have just went for Rest. It would have worked out way better in my favor if I did, but he's able to kill me off with another Drain Punch, and then it's left between me, or his Kangaskhan and my Miltank. I did not think I was going to be faster, but Seismic Toss is my only attack move. But if I did expect to be faster, I might have Milk Drink just to see how much Drain Punch actually would have done. But the crazy thing here is that because of my Rocky Helmet and his Life Orb, even though he takes me out, he dies on the same turn. However, because he took me out first, I feel like that's why he won the battle, but it technically is a tie. I'm not really sure how these kind of things work. But I thought this was really cool and kind of epic because of how it ended. But yeah, this is a really, really fun battle. I probably could have actually won if I did rest with the Wormadam, because I could have just kept resting as he Drain Punched me. Drain Punch wasn't doing terrible amounts, so I feel like I could have took 2 and then rested and then kept taking 2 while the poison kept accumulating, which is what I should have done, but I wasn't thinking of it at the time. So that was kind of a bad play, and it's why maybe I assumed that I lost the match because of that misplay right there. But I thought that was a really great battle, guys, and I hope you enjoyed it too. So thank you for watching, and take care, and goodbye.